safe. You can't get me up here. You're stuck on the other side of the river. Now, I just wonder what's up here. It's a big tree. Only one way to find out. What is up, everybody? My name is Commander, and welcome back to another episode of Ark Survival Evolved. So, as you can see from the title of this video, this is the ultimate super secret base that I have ever seen. I mean, there is no other base in this. This base, I don't even think was intended to be possible. The reason why I say this is where I'm climbing right now is a tree over in the water. Very far north. On the map, I will have to pull it up. Oop. Nope, put the map down. Thank God I'm in God mode right now. I found this on the single player server, not the single player, the multiplayer server that I play with everybody else on. And right where my fingers are, right under those fingers, was this big, giant lake. And the only reason why I found this was an accident in... Well, maybe not necessarily. It was an accident in a multi-tribe action, to say. One tribe member was not actually our tribe member, but he was trying to join tribes. Well, when he tried to join tribes, it was all glitchy because, you know, Ark is glitchy, and he didn't hit merge tribe, he hit join tribe, and the stuff didn't default to the proper location. Well, being the admin, I tried to fix it. Well, that didn't go as well as you might think it would, or maybe this goes exactly as you think it would. Next thing you know, I owned everybody's stuff, and well, you obviously can't have that. So basically, I ended up owning everything, and that would have been all fine and dandy, but we had to fix everything for everybody else. So, after fixing everything for everybody else, get the tribes all into their separate individual things, well, a few bases got forgotten, a few dinos got forgotten. People just kind of abandoned some of the other structures just because I had to give my password out just so they could fix things. And so a few things got abandoned. But after they abandoned their stuff, I died and respawned. Well, when I was respawning, I saw a bed way up to the north, and I was like, "What's this bed?" And neither me or Vape knew what the bed was. We kind of assumed it was somebody else's bed, but we didn't have an actual answer. So, what did we do? We went ahead and checked it out. I spawned into the base to see what it was, and when I got there, oh, I thought I pooped a glow stick for a minute. When I saw what it was, I was like, oh, okay. And then I walked over the edge and saw all this water place, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Then I started flying around, cheating around, flying around. And when I was doing that, just because I could, I wasn't going to do anything. I was actually on my way to bed anyway, and this was just kind of a little pit stop. Well, once I did all that, I saw this tree, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if I can get to the top of this tree. I've always wondered. I'd never climbed any of the trees before. No rock drakes or anything to climb to the top of the tree, so you might have seen plenty of people say, well, you can't go anywhere. The tree, when you get to the top of the tree, you're stopped. Well, not entirely true. One of the trees, like, you can't even get to the top of the trees normally. One of the trees, you can get to the top. And when you get to the top, you're rewarded pretty well. Granted, I did it flying, but what we're going to do here today is we're going to do it by climbing up real quick, or I'm going to climb up real quick just because I can. And I think I've already kind of managed to make my way inside the tree. And at this point, it's a question of where we're at, because it's on the other side over here. Although even this spot right here would not be bad. Alright guys, so I have actually reached the top here. You can see And unfortunately, no surface to climb on. You can't use it for a climbing thing. But, so, where is this super secret base? I am not entirely sure myself. It's a big tree, and I had to climb around essentially just to find it. Or I could just cheat and fly, which I'm probably about to do. See, I discovered this by accident coming from a particular angle, and now I've got to kind of rediscover it. Using some ascended picks here now, so I can be very, like, hostile with the picks. I feel like I should have reached it by now, but I'm not seeing it, so you know what? Cheat. Fly. Although I could probably just type fly. Alright, let's go outside and let's see where we're at, because that might be why I'm not finding it. Right, well, this is about where I entered the tree, because I was on the opposite side of the lake. Or was it that tree? I was at the far end. But how far is the far end? No, that's the other tree. So this is about right. I think I passed it. All right. So let's go back to the tree. First off, I'd like to point out actually, you can see a lot of grass structure here, like a lot of leaves and stuff. This could really seclude a base. Like no joke, this would still do a wonderful job outside the tree. But here it is right here. In this crevice. All you got is ceiling. Now, there's not any resources here. This is a super secret base. This is a base where you would store stuff. And you can store this stuff right in here. Now, looks like there's a few avenues of approach. Although, yeah, there's a few avenues of approach for sure. But, you can confine this area to a very small area, which means a lot of guns in one little place. And the best thing about it is the way you would have to climb around in here, you are more than likely going to get shot and lose your rock drakes up in here. So anyone attacking here is not going to be able to do much. They're going to be forced to use rock drakes or climbing picks. They won't be able to get up here otherwise. Everything else except for maybe ravagers with zip lines to drain your turrets, but that's a lot of ravagers. Now ravagers are easy to tame. You be the judge of whether or not you can actually build something defensively in here. I feel I could. And let me show you exactly how, because it is a little tricky on how to build it in here. Alright guys, so I have some stone platforms. And right off the bat you saw I had a green light. This is what you're going to build on. Over here, unfortunately, it says there is no floor. So you're going to want to build over on this side. And obviously you want to build as low as you can. Now, I'm kind of stuck at the moment, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. These platforms are just way too much. And you have all the flexibility in the world to put these platforms just about where you want them. Obviously, the obstruction is a little more often with on a single-player server than my no-clip server, because I can park them like right next to each other. But this isn't too bad. We're gonna ditch the extra weight here. All right, let's stop being a fatty. Okay, can we move? Yeah. But you really want to build it ideally at the bottom. But you can kind of cover all your avenues by just doing something similar to this. Platform is obstructed. So really, you're going to have to look for good amounts of room. But again, this is supposed to be hidden. You're going to want to make sure no one can get underneath the platforms, which would mean anti-rock drake fire. So, turrets, well actually, yeah, turrets is the only way to go. Now, I will say on a no-clip server, this works a lot better. No collision really solves a lot of its own problems, or these problems I should say. You can get these much further down in here, a lot less obstruction. As you can see, I got one right there, which means you have very little avenue to climb up and out. I mean, I think this is really where I would suggest it is down here. I mean, nobody's climbing through that hole. If they are just fantastic, but even then, that hole is not very big. I mean, let's see if we can climb through when we're not flying. Oh, we can even go through flying, but cheat. Walk. Okay. If I manage to climb, I could get up here. But if there were a turret watching that hole, I would just be absolutely slaughtered. So it's not like as if you can't cover it. Maybe put like 2 or 3 turrets down there. That's the only thing you're gonna be able to get up in there. So this is about as low as you can build, and this is a 1 platform build. Obviously, I would want to take metal platforms up here as well. I just had stone platforms left over in my command bar, so I could go ahead and pull them up pretty quick without having to search. This is one of the only main holes right here that you can come from the side, but by the time you climb up on a rock drake, you climb over the cliffside, you could be very well shot off because turrets can at least shoot the players off of the rock drake. Then the rock drake is sitting there waiting. Well, if they expel all their rock drakes coming up here trying to get to this super secret base, well, they're not going to have much, are they? More than likely, this base is going to be a hideaway base. This is not a base to store your dinos because, well, you don't have much room to store your dinos. Storing your dinos here would be like trying to, I mean, they'd be trapped once they're in here unless you had an elevator out. Being a very expensive project, and if you can manage the expensive project, I heavily suggest it. You can build multiple layers down here, build everything low down here, but then you're kind of spreading out your focus. But you do what you want with it. This is your build when you're down here. So all you'd have to do essentially is set some turrets down. Now, I have the code right here. We're going to spawn. We'll do 10 because I can't carry too much. Oh, wow. These things are heavy. Heavy is their key word, isn't it? But you could place a few turrets down. I mean, it doesn't matter where. For anti-air battery. Everything above it will be shot at. Players will be shot off their mounts, so anybody cloaking will basically be engaged if they try and climb up through here. I mean, you won't be able to hide yourself. I mean, you would have to basically force a rock drake to come down with you, cloaked, hide behind the body of the rock drake, and then use your climbing picks to climb down and hope that the rock drake doesn't expose you. You're asking for a lot there. I don't really feel it would work too well. Not only that, but whistling would also get anybody's attention who is up here, if they are up here. And then maybe since you have this platform down here, take a few turrets, and you wouldn't even need very many. Place one there. One there. And then, I mean, you can place as many as you want. You get 100 of these things, so that's on you, but place as many as you want, and they can watch the hole. I mean, the hole's right there. And if anybody tries to climb through, you can shoot them up with that. And also at the same time, the other hole's only right there. So placing a turret like right there has perfect line of sight, and if not perfect line of sight, as soon as they come through the hole, they will be killed. So it's not like as if you can't defend this position. This position is very defendable. That's why I call it super secret base, because or the ultimate super secret base, because it is the ultimate one. You could strap so many turrets up here, so many bullets, and there's just about nothing anyone can do about, I mean, crabs. Maybe some crabs could get up here, but even then, crabs are going to have a hard time jumping up this tree. I really feel like you're only going to be able to do rock drakes, which basically really limits, I mean, this is one of the only holes. Everything else is almost impossible to climb. If you do manage to get to the absolute very tip top and drop in, your crab isn't going to last long anyway, even with all the turret fire. I mean, even with the reduced turret fire, the number of turrets will just slaughter whoever tries to come in. So, I mean, I guess you could try. I mean, it would be very, very hard to get a crab up in here. You would have to basically somehow climb around this outer edge. You might be able to climb through all this and get up inside here. But yeah, that's kind of pushing it. And from what I understand, all these trees are kind of copy and paste. So you don't have to build in this one. If you can get into any of these trees and reach where I reached, which a lot of them don't allow for it, but you can see this one sits pretty low, and so does this one. But if you go look at like the one to the left over here that's on this big stone thing, you can definitely see it sits higher. It sits a little too high before you hit the gap, and that was my big problem. So I couldn't get into that one, but I probably could get into that one, but I know I can get into this one, and that's why I showed you on this one. Now, again, I do hit the top of the force field wall here, which means basically they are limited on the height that they can approach from. They can't prep up here. If you go to the very top, you'll see I hit this beforehand. You can see I hit it, and it kind of pushes me down. So it's not like as if they're letting you prep on. I mean, you could prep maybe on the edge of this thing right here, and then come running through with everything. But again, I mean, this is a hard thing, and you know arc dinos, they don't traverse the ground very well, especially when you're not riding them. So this is pretty much on you to do your part. Again, approaches from the top will be left to slaughter on the enemy's part, and you will have a perfectly safe base, so well guarded, and short range fight. It will be on your terms, and that's the biggest thing, is getting a base to be on your terms. The rockets will be shot down, the C4 won't be able to be placed because they'll never be able to get in. And if they get in and they manage to place the C4 on the platforms, well, maybe layer the platforms several low, like put a few in the way so they can't walk, even if they're just stones, they'd have to get through them as well. And that way you know they're coming. Just kind of guesses here on what you can and can't do. Obviously, you can place stuff on these structures, so this is super secret base, the ultimate super secret base. Alright guys, so I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you really like this one, because this one was just, I got so excited when I saw this place. I was like, oh my god, they are all going to want to see this. And I hope you all enjoyed this one, because this one was like 10 times better than the other one, where you could just kind of build something and you had a foundation holding it up. And it's from Ragnarok, because Ragnarok had its own luxuries at the time. Ragnarok, obviously, you could climb up on things and climb around. Well, now you kind of can, so things have changed, things have shifted, and right now this is like the ultimate place to build that I can see. I will keep looking for more. If any of you guys have any ideas that I need to check out, leave them in the comments, let me know, and I'll check them out and see what we can do about building there. But alright guys, you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.